Welcome to the JD Remedy. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the JD Remedy. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode. Ooh, guys, look, I'm a little excited today. It is my 28th birthday today. So, look, thoughts. I am excited. Let's, to stay optimistic, let's say I'm 28 years young. I am actually super excited. I'm just doing, obviously, some work from home today. Gonna get a little gym session, dinner with the boyfie tonight, and nothing else really planned. I am flying to Brisbane tomorrow for 5 days for work. I'm spending my birthday weekend changing lives. We're doing a personal development kind of workshop intensive this weekend. So super excited for that. Yeah, so spending today doing whatever I like. It's my birthday. I'm surrounded by all my favorite things. I have a Friends t-shirt on, a Disney coffee cup I'm drinking out of. I have the Simpsons socks on. It's a little chilly in Perth at the moment this week, bit of storming. I'm not actually wearing pants because, well, not because it's my birthday, but I just hate wearing clothes in general. So, you know, no pants. Probably the only thing missing. I think I need maybe a themed crime documentary, something that I can wear, and maybe something with the Sims logo on it. And then my life would be complete, you know? All my favorite things surrounded by me on my birthday. So I'm super excited. I'm 28 years young, and today's episode, we'll get into it after the Rex for this week, but it's going to be 28 lessons I've learnt in 28 years. I thought, you know, pretty on brand, on topic for my birthday as I'm recording this introduction. So super excited. Let's get into this week's Rex. Now, last week I did mention I had 2 Recs, but I only gave 1 away. So, you know what's coming. This week's Rec is the second half of that. I wanted to talk about Behind Her Eyes. Now, this is a new series that is on Netflix, and it's jumping in the charts, but it's definitely still in the top 10, probably even the top 5 on Netflix at the moment. So if you're into that kind of stuff, it's probably popped up on your newsfeed, if that's what you want to call it, on Netflix, somewhere or sometime. People are going mental for this series. Like, they're frothing it. It's being talked about all the time. Understandably, it's in the top 10 on Netflix. And this is also another one that my best friend recommended to me. Shout out to Siobhan. She's sending me the good stuff. So I love a thriller. I love those movies or those series that, you know, kind of make your brain tick the whole time. You're not really sure what's going on. And then there's normally, obviously, a big twist at the end, right? That's a thriller. And I have to say, I'm someone, I'll watch anything, right? Like, I don't get bored very easily. I will pretty much sit there and watch anything. It took me until the 4th episode to really get into this series, and that's saying a lot coming from me. I only continued watching it, and I will say ahead of time, I'm glad I finished it because it is really good toward the end. The only time I pushed through up until episode 4 was because that obviously my best friend recommended it, and she said she was obsessed, and, you know, trust her word, trust her judgment. So got to be on the same page as what your friends recommend, okay? So that you can talk about it over coffee. Look, the end of episode 3 and episode 4 onwards, let me just check how many episodes there are. They are quite long episodes. I'm pretty sure they're an hour. So there's not a lot of episodes. Let's have a look. So there's only 6 episodes and go for about an hour each. So you have to obviously watch it from the beginning, duh. You really have to pay attention to detail. The storyline is super important to the twist at the end. Obviously the same as every other thriller, but I was absolutely blown away. I'd like to think I'm somewhat of a detective. I'm normally pretty good at, you know, judging a twist or guessing what's going to happen, or, you know, just being a sleuth online myself. I'm quite a detective. Detective Mosby, if anyone's catching on to that. But I did not see this ending coming. like completely threw me off guard. And I thought it was incredible what they did. And it makes you know, those kind of twists where you hear it and then you think about the whole season back in your head in that moment and you're like, fuck, that makes so much sense. I think it ended very well. A lot of people are saying it ended quite abruptly, which obviously, like, in a good way, meaning that it can follow on to a season 2. I think, yeah, definitely there could be a possibility for season 2, but I think the way that it ended they could also not do with the season 2. It ended in such a way where you had that feeling of, no way, like, this life for these people are going to be so shit if this is happening. Do you know what I mean? And if you guys haven't seen it, skip ahead a couple of minutes so you don't get any spoilers. Firstly, let's just talk about the little boy, like her son. I am just heartbroken for him that he physically hasn't lost his mum, but he obviously knows, right? He's sus. He knows what's going on. But Rob, the friend she makes in the rehab place, he obviously isn't a nice person. I thought he was a very nice person, just kind of weird and obsessive over Adele. But he obviously, if he's taking over this many bodies, including a mother to a child, and the fact that he was so mean and just non-inclusive in the car in the very last scene of the very last episode and they were driving away, just broke my heart for the little kid. I'm also heartbroken for Adele. Like, she actually, the whole season, I was like, she's just fucking nuts. Like, I don't know what's going on. She's like, is the husband a cheater? Is there control issues? Is there abuse? Like, is she just wants attention from her busy husband, or is she actually a fucking loony and she's hurting all these people? Like, seriously hurting all these people mentally and physically, and she's dangerous. But I just feel bad for her, because her in rehab and her before, obviously she swapped bodies with Rob, was a really nice person, and she was so in love with with David, Dr. Ferguson, or whatever his name is. So yeah, I'm devastated for her, and it just, again, it's one of those things that makes you click and go, oh, because, you know, David was always so upset with what happened to Adele. You could tell, like, through the whole season, he was like, I just don't know who you are anymore. What happened to you? I don't want to put up with your shit anymore. And it makes so much sense. It's like, it's not your wife. It's some guy that's in her body. And it was just so sad. Obviously, goes without saying, upset for Louise. She lost her son. But there's a lot of opened questions that could lead into season 2. So did Louise actually die? As in, you know, because we know that the body of Adele, but Louise's spirit or being, whatever it is, was taken out of the house while it was on fire. So that leaves an open end, whether it could be, you know, maybe she wakes up in hospital or something, and like the season 2 is about her tracking down her body and trying to convince David. You know, season 2 could also be about Adam, the little boy, being like, bitch, what have you done with my mom? This is not my mom. And maybe like teaming up with David, because he's a psychiatrist, guys. Like, he should know something's up, unless he's like, great, like, Louise is a crazy bitch too. I just got rid of Adele. Why do all these women turn crazy? So, fuck, like, so many possibilities. I'm so excited. But yeah, it was great. Like, see, episode 4 onwards, so like 3 episodes, I was hooked, because it all starts kind of coming together. The start of the season super slow, and you're like, I get they're trying to establish a storyline here, but I don't know what it was. Maybe I can't watch it again because I know the twist, but yeah, I want to watch it back knowing what I know, just so I can study all the characters and be like, oh my God, that's not even Adele. Like, I'm so onto you. Anyway, yeah, that's my rec for the week, guys. Behind Her Eyes on Netflix. Let me know what you guys think when I post the rec on Instagram. I'm dying to know your thoughts if you've already watched it. If not, go and watch it, then comment. Let me know your thoughts. Will there be a season 2? Did you like how it ended? Something. All right. But first, coffee. All right, let's get into today's episode. So 28 lessons I've learned in 28 years. So lesson number 1, falling out of love, what that experience is, what happens. It's okay to walk away. So I've touched on this briefly, but that was my first experience. I was with someone for 7 years, engaged, and just fell out of love. I did another episode on this recently, so if you want to know details, it's called Knowing When to Leave a Relationship. So I delved deep into what happened there and just how I felt, but it's definitely a huge lesson for me in the whole experience. And that experience and lesson was, never settle for anything. Trust your gut, and there's always something else out there for you that should lift you up and light you up. So never just settle because you're comfortable or you feel secure or whatever it is. Like, you should be on fire with passion every single day most of the time in your relationship. So yeah, that was a huge lesson for me and huge growth, and I don't want to say skill set, but a huge growth for me and able to have the courage to walk away from something like that. So definitely one of the biggest lessons and experiences I've taken away in the past 28 years. Lesson number 2, leaving a toxic workplace. Yeah, don't wait, guys, don't wait, just do it. Knowing what I know and what I experienced in a toxic workplace, although it was shit at the time and I'm still dealing with it in many ways, like I say, you have to go through shit times to know the difference, to know your worth, and to have the behavioral skills and courage to see those things coming in the future and to be able to walk away from them. So although it was very toxic and it did fuck me up in many ways, physically, emotionally, psychologically, etc., I know that I had to go through all of that. And the lesson to you guys is, if you've been through anything like that before, I feel for you. It's not a fun time. Knowing when to leave is the most important thing. And you need to look after yourself and put yourself first, because if you have the abilities and worth that you know you do, then you should be in an environment that appreciates that. Because if you're in a toxic workplace, you can't flourish. You can't do the things you want to do and succeed in the ways that you want to, because you're almost like your light is being dimmed. Which leads me on to the next lesson. Lesson number 3, stress. Big one. Something I've thought I only dealt with for a short time, but have been dealing with it for a very long time. And it built up into physical stress and all of the symptoms that come with it. I did an hour episode on my podcast about this pretty serious topic. It's called Stress, Burnout, and Overwhelm. Is it your fault? Something I'm passionate about at the moment, because I don't want people to experience what I did. I left my toxic workplace in January of 2020. It's now March 2021, and I'm still dealing with physical and mental challenges because of that experience. And on the topic of stress, a huge lesson for me is stress. A little bit of stress is okay. It's normal. Like, it's our adrenal system. Like, it's a fight or flight mode. It is inbuilt in us as humans to react to things quickly to save us or to, take action in a certain moment. However, if we have that prolonged stress on our bodies, that prolonged flight or fight mode, that is very dangerous. And a huge lesson I took away was, I always thought that stress was mental. I knew I was mentally stressed for a very long time, and what terrified me once I started experiencing it was the physical stress that I endured. And again, if you want more details, go to that episode. But it's something that if you don't get yourself out of a stressful situation, I was in it for about 4 or 5 years, and has done a lot of extreme damage to my body, especially physically. So get yourself out. So that huge lesson was, know the signs and symptoms of stress, know your environment and what's causing the stress, and get the fuck out. Pretty much in a nutshell. These all kind of tie in together. So lesson number 4, mental health. Obviously, mental health is a big topic. Obviously, I hope that it gets bigger and more acknowledgement and more resources, more education and more help. I've been through mental health challenges earlier when I was about maybe 21. I was going through some challenges and then I was all good. And, since this period of my toxic workplace and about a year after, it's been a massive struggle. I do talk about it openly on my YouTube channel if you want to follow me on there. But what I've learnt from my mental health experiences is, asking for help and openly talking about it with people that you're comfortable with, giving yourself education around ways to help yourself. So, I'm exercising, I'm seeing a psychologist, I talk to friends, I talk to family, my workplace knows about it, I vlog. So vlogging for me is kind of like journaling, except I get it off my chest and out of my head and out there in the world. I do it therapeutically for myself, but also just to give people the opportunity to know that they're not alone. Other people go through this, and just spreading awareness and education, I suppose. But the huge lessons I've taken away from it is, get onto the signs and symptoms early, just know that you're not alone and look after yourself. Lesson number 5, value and look after your mind and body. So I do a lot for my mind in terms of the above that I've obviously just spoken about. I think everybody should go to therapy. It's even if you think there's nothing that's challenging for you at the time, I think it's just so good to get out of your own head and talk to a non-biased support system. I do brain training games. I do a lot of personal development. I do so many different education courses and business and skill building courses. Just for my mind and knowledge. I'm learning so much about finances at the moment because I'm really trying to look after myself, but especially physically. I know the importance that exercise obviously has on your mental health and well-being, but the confidence it gives me and just the proudness, is that a word? Me feeling proud about myself when I hit those personal bests in the gym and, looking in the mirror and feeling confident and comfortable in my own skin and achieving a goal and working hard for it. Not only do I feel good in the moment, but I know that I'm looking after myself for the future and the long run as well. Lesson number 6, feeling valued and creative in the workplace. So now that I have a new job and I'm aligned with a new company, I know the difference in being in a awesome workplace. I feel valued. I have creative flexibility and freedom, just being trusted, and I work a lot harder when I feel like I'm trusted and I know I'll get the job done. I'm still under pressure, but in a good way, because there's validation, praise, and support during and after doing things in the workplace, and having a supportive and understanding manager and support to not only be treated like a human, but they push you, as well as having an understanding and an empathetic approach to what you're going through personally, but they can still find those boundaries for you where they're pushing you to get outside your comfort zone and achieve great things. So that's been a huge lesson for me in the last 28 years, is experiencing an amazing workplace and the difference that makes for you as a person and your growth and your skills and just a lot of it. Lesson number 7, emotional maturity and communication in a romantic relationship is the most important things. I think for me personally anyway, obviously close to my values, communication is the most important thing. I've learnt, especially in tough times, you can't read each other's mind. If you don't tell someone what's upsetting you, they don't know, or you can't work through things together. A lot of us make assumptions because we don't communicate, and that's the worst thing. How many of you guys have had a fight about something just purely because you took something the wrong way, or you didn't interpret it, or you didn't understand how they meant because nothing was being said, right? I have an episode on this, and it's a super important one. It's called Do You Know How to Communicate? So definitely jump over and have a listen to that one to delve deeper. But communication, honestly, I value so much, especially when you're talking about your emotions, what you need from your partner, what's bothering you. I think you can just grow together and be such an amazing couple if you just have that open communication with no judgment. Really important part, no judgment. And obviously the emotional maturity. For me personally, having emotional maturity between two people in a relationship. And that means not getting offended very easily, being open and honest with each other without fear of judgment, and just supporting each other. You know, there can be a bit of banter, take the mickey out of each other, but not take it personally. Emotional maturity as well. You're confident with your own emotions and talking about them, and you know, you've worked on yourself a little bit and you have the skills to understand other people's emotions and how to help each other and how to manage your own shit a little better. So those two things in a romantic relationship, huge importance. You know, I've been in a few long-term relationships, some very serious ones, some short-term ones, but definitely something I've taken away is my two favorite things. Lesson number 8, recharging. So to me, I've noticed in the last 28 years that being alone, I love. Like, I really need it to recharge, to think my own thoughts, to calm down. I find that when I'm in a stressful situation, or I'm in an argument with someone, or just disagreements, whatever you want to call it, I work very well when I step away from a situation and just think and am to myself. 90% of the time I can talk myself out of something in a positive way and calm myself down, go through my own little coaching process in my own head. I have obviously the tools and skills to be able to do that to myself, but I'm very introverted in the fact that I just love being by myself. That's how I recharge. That's how I'm the most comfortable, the most happy. I just love being in my own space. So don't be scared to spend some time with yourself. Lesson number 9, life is short. Over the last 28 years, I've experienced loss and grief in many different ways. I currently don't have a relationship with my dad and haven't for the last maybe 7 years. I've lost a pet. I've lost a friend to suicide, and on numerous occasions have nearly lost my granddad, who's a very important male figure in my life. So I've learned that life is short and life is precious. You know, spend time and surround yourself with people that appreciate you and lift you up, to get you through those hard times. Spend as much time as you can with people that you love, because you never know what will happen any day. So yeah, I know people talk about that all the time in terms of tell your loved ones that you love them, like when they've lost someone, but it's true. You never know what can happen. Accidents happen all the time. People get older and some people just aren't around. So appreciate what you have whilst you have it. Lesson number 10 is lifestyles can change. Obviously, living through a pandemic, I can't believe that we're able to live through that, to talk about it to the younger generations, but it was a terrifying thing. You know, we used to read about all the wars that were happening and the plagues and outbreaks, and you know, that was olden day stuff that never happened. But to be experiencing it in the 20th century is just mind-blowing, terrifying, and a very serious thing. Again, appreciate what you've done so far, what you're able to do every day, and what you have for yourself and others every single day, because again, anything can change in an instant. So take the time to appreciate what you are able to do, because not a lot of people have the same opportunities as yourself. Lesson number 11, libido. So been a roller coaster, and I'm doing a separate episode on this, but just quickly, been a roller coaster of a time with my own libido, and I've just taken away a few lessons. Hormones play a huge part in it. Your partner plays a huge part in it, but it's normal. It goes up and down. Everything's okay. You're not alone. Do your research. Speak to professionals. Jump on girl chats and talk about it. And I promise you're not the only one. It is up and down, but stay tuned for an upcoming episode. It's just a lesson that I've taken away, not to be so hard on myself, not to put pressure on myself, and not to judge myself. It comes and goes. It's normal. Lesson number 12, self-love. Love this lesson. I've built a business off of this lesson. Self-love starts with stopping comparison. So you cannot learn to love yourself unless you stop comparing yourself to everybody else. On top of that, self-love can be physical. It can be mental. Don't be so fucking hard on yourself. A lot of the time, what you're judging yourself on normally isn't real. everybody has their own insecurities. So rather than spend all this time worrying about what we could have or what we don't have, spend that time with positive energy and appreciate what you do have. Appreciate why you're different and why you're unique and why you stand out. You shouldn't want to look the same as everybody else because you were put here to stand out and be different and be beautiful. I have an episode on this called Do You Love Yourself? Check it out. Lesson number 13. Done is better than perfect. Such a banger of a line. I get that from my mentor. A lot of my lessons are from my mentor actually. But done is better than perfect. What that means is stop being a fucking perfectionist and a control freak. How many times have you wanted to start something, a project, an idea, a business, anything, and you start it for a couple of days, an hour, a week, however long, and then you just stop and you give up because it's all too hard. I don't know how to do this. Where we don't actually put things out there in the universe or to our clients or to the public because it's just not ready yet. Like I need to do one more thing, or I need to learn about this first, or I need to put this together. I need to change this. It's like, no, fuck that. Stop. Put something out there. It doesn't matter. The public or whoever you're presenting something to does not know what your product is supposed to be or how you're supposed to be. They think it's perfect. And even if it isn't, you have to start somewhere. The best advice I gave one of my clients was put something out there and then ask for feedback. Do you want me to change the product? Do you want me to add anything in? The best way to grow a business, like how do you know if you can develop a product or your business or whatever it is you're doing in the way that you want your clients to like it if you don't know what they like? Put something out there. Done is better than perfect. And then be open to feedback and change it as necessary. Huge lesson for myself. I'm in therapy for being a control freak, guys. So done is better than perfect. Lesson number 14. Good things come from outside your comfort zone. I've been saying this for years. It's one of my favorites, but it's true. That anxious feeling you get when you're trying something new or when you're learning something new, you're meeting someone new, that gut little anxious feeling of, oh, this makes me uncomfortable, obviously if you're safe, then that means you're heading in the right direction and amazing things are about to happen. It's similar to a quote that I also love is, discomfort and anxiety are your soul's compass towards growth. So literally, get the fuck out of the comfort zone because good things are coming, okay? Just do it. Just do it. Lesson number 15. Friends. Quality over quantity. Ooh, this has been a huge lesson for me. I did an episode called How to Break Up with Your Friend, which is also in depth about this topic. But you guys grow, you change interests, you have close friends, but they're busy, but you appreciate that and you love them anyway. We get busier when we're older, right? Life goes on. So it's better to have fewer friends that you're super close with. Those friends that you know that you only have to touch base with once a month or every now and then, and it's like you never left each other's side. If you speak to them every day, that's a bonus. But having a bunch of fucking acquaintances that you always have to look after or feel anxious that you need to look after or touch base, it's like, it's not a chore, right? Friendship shouldn't feel like a chore, but definitely quality over quantity. Lesson number 16. You don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. Love that. Another banger from my mentor. Very true. I know you have huge ambitions for yourself, and I know that you know good things are coming your way, but unless you do something about it, it ain't gonna happen. We can manifest it as much as we like and wish that things would fall into our lap, but girl, get the fuck up and get to work, right? We have to pave the way for these manifestations to actually happen in our life. So just start. Just do something. Similar to my previous lesson, done is better than perfect. So just fucking get it done and you'll be great. That's my lesson. Take it away. Lesson number 17. Personal development and skills is the best thing to spend your money on. Huge. If you followed me on YouTube for the last 10 years or however fucking long I've been on there, you would know that a huge part of my life is personal development courses. And it's actually, I've done a lot of them with my mentor and my current boss. the life skills, the communication skills, my personal growth, how I interact with others, how I deal with other people's challenges and my own problems, game changer. Relationships, everything, finances, like I cannot express the importance of doing personal development courses. Any course that teaches you a new skill. And I get like it's tough times and people are hesitant. I don't want to spend my money and blah, blah, blah. But just fucking get outside your comfort zone. Done is better than perfect. You know, the rest of them, jump in. Take that risk. Risk on personal development is, you know, what are you going to risk? You're going to risk buying cigarette packets every single month and, you know, am I going to die soon? Am I not? That's a risk you're willing to take. Spend that money you don't have on personal development, girlfriend. Go fucking spend that money you don't have on a finance course. You need it, right? I'm speaking truth bombs here. It's my birthday. Coming off with a little bit of attitude, but it's my birthday. I'm 28 years old. Can't tell me what to do today. Haven't had a coffee. I'm going a little crazy, guys. I'm going a little cray. Lesson number 18. Good debt versus bad debt. Ooh, I did not know this until a couple of years ago. I do not have financial education in school. Was not taught it growing up. There is actually a difference in good debt and bad debt. Yes, I'm slowly learning about assets, financial education, and just, you know, money in general, how to make it work for me, how to not be a slave to the 9 to 5. Lifestyle is important, you know, so learn, educate yourself, learn about money. It is super important to your everyday life. You know, money is an object, yes, but it's a vehicle to better things. It's not everything, but it's definitely a vehicle. I highly believe that, you know, and people have this negative connotation about money as well. Someone put out a question at a personal development course I went to, and the question from the speaker was, would you be happy if you woke up with $1 million tomorrow? And a lot of people that have a negative association with money were like, no, like money does not make me happy. Money is greed and blah, blah, blah. And then the speaker was like, well, I didn't tell you had to spend the money on yourself. Like, what if you donated it? Or what if you built water wells for people? Or, you know, like what if you gave back, or you paid off your parents' house? Or, you know, like, fuck, I would be happy with $1 million tomorrow. There's a lot of things I would do with $1 million. I'd invested in myself. I'd help my family, like charities, you know what I mean? So depending on your connotation and how you associate with money. But the lesson is money is important. Financial education is more important. So that's a lesson I've experienced last year and this year. So interesting. Take it or leave it. Lesson 19. One of my favorites. Only take advice from people you would trade places with. This is probably my favorite quote, actually. I'm going to have some coffee. Only take advice from people you would trade places with. You guys know everybody wants to give their opinion. Everybody wants to give support. And that's fine. It's up to you whether you take or leave someone's support or advice. But depending on where you're going in life and what you want for yourself and what you want out of life, only take advice from people you would trade places with. So if you're having financial difficulties and you really want that lifestyle where you have financial freedom, you get to choose what you do every day, you want assets, blah, 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 and someone that has no assets, works 12 hours a day just to live paycheck to paycheck, comes to you and says, you should do this with your money. Like, love and appreciate you, respect you, but I'm not going to take advice because you're not where I want to be financially. So you don't have to be rude and cut people off, but it's like, thank you for your opinion and your advice. And then internally, Do you know what I mean? Harsh reality. But, you know, appreciate people's advice and opinion, but only take the advice and take action on advice from people that you would trade places with. Same with a relationship advice. How many people that have been in terrible relationships always break up with people or get cheated on, or, you know, whatever happens, and you're looking for solid long-term love. Who do you take relationship from? Someone that's single and hasn't been in a relationship longer than a month every time, or someone that's been with their partner for 10 years and is married and happy? Who are you taking advice from? You know, just think about it. Who do you take advice from in your life right now? Would you trade places with any of them? depending on the area advice, obviously, like health and fitness advice, relationship advice, finance advice, whatever it is. Lesson number 20, be open and accepting of differences in people, right? So this is culturally, education, lifestyle, life experience, identification, love interests. I am a super open person. I do obviously have my own beliefs, but I'm so open to sitting there and talking about what you believe in and your hopes and dreams and your thoughts on the world. Like, as long as you're not violent or aggressive or pushy, I don't want you to push shit on me, but definitely open. Like, I'm not religious, but I've watched people who are religious sit there and talk about, their interactions with God and I was just so in love with how this person lit up. I could see that he was just mesmerized and so happy and so fulfilled and just deeply connected, and I loved that. Like, I love hearing about it. Tell me all about your fucking dream you had with God, please. I want to listen. So, no judgment, right? Even the LGBTQ community, huge supporter. Love it. When I see people living their truth, living their best life, fuck, gets me in the feels, it just makes my heart so full. I wish the whole world was open and understanding and not judgmental. And it doesn't mean that we all have to agree. We don't have to live life the same. But imagine just being like, good for you. Love that you're happy. Live your best life. Live your truth. I never, ever understood the hate and the violence and the judgment and the bullying. Like, it just eats at my soul, you guys. So one of the biggest life lessons, and that I'm grateful that I am able to go about my day having is that, no judgment of people and where they're at in life. Everybody has different experiences and access to education and access to a good upbringing or value input and just support. Everybody's going through some shit. Not everybody has the same opportunities and support that you do. So no judgment. Lesson number 21. You are the average of the 5 people you hang around. Woo! Another one on my faves. Dropping some fucking golden nuggets today, guys. This is all growth, right? Personal development. You are the average of 5 people you hang around. So are the 5 people that you're around most of the time, are they similar to you? Are they ambitious? Are they doing shit with their life? Do they give you good advice? Do they support you? Do they prop you up? Do they love you? Or are you like trying to progress in life and you're hanging out with some pretty out there people? I don't want to use hateful comments, but people that are dragging you down, people that take you away from your goals, But sit there and think about, assess your life. Who are the top 5 people you spend a majority of your time with? Probably not including family, but think about it. Do you have mentors? Do you have co-workers? People that you choose to spend your time with, right? This is important. People you choose to spend your time with. Friends being a big one. Do you have a mentor that you've sought out personally because you want to spend time with people that are fucking getting shit done, right? Who are the 5 people you spend time with? Do you need to make some changes? Are you on the right track? Lesson number 22, the 3 powerful power questions. What's happening? What does it mean to me? And what am I going to do about it? Huge. I give this to my clients a lot when they're feeling panicky or anxious or angry at something. 3 power questions. What's happening? What does it mean to me? And what am I going to do about it? Is it within your control? Good. What are you going to do about it? What are your options? Is it out of your control? Yeah. Okay. What does that mean to you? It is what it is. Nothing you can do about it. Move on. Make a plan B, baby. Plan B. I like to also look at this in a different way, is if something happens in the moment, think about, is this going to matter in 5 hours, 5 days, 5 weeks? If it's going to matter in 5 hours, probably want to attend to it, right? It's going to be a problem for 5 hours. Is it going to matter in 5 days? Yes or no? Is it going to matter in 5 weeks? Yes or no, right? Just think about it. What kind of issue is this? What do I need to do about it? What action plan do I need to make about it? If it's not going to matter past 5 hours, like within 5 days, it'll all be over. Who gives a fuck? Don't spend that much energy and effort on it, Just move on. Lesson 23, ask for help. It's okay. Do not suffer in silence. Huge lesson for me, especially with everything I went through, toxic workplace, etc., mental health. No judgment. It's your own insecurities. It's your own limiting beliefs. Ask for help. Tell people what's going on. You don't have to do it alone. You don't have to suffer in silence. This can be at work. This can be about your relationship. This can be with homework, whatever the hell you guys need help with. Even if it's just a negative thought you're having, ask for help. Lesson number 24. Giving feedback and asking for feedback are super important. So, giving feedback, constructive feedback, super effective. I always say that people can't change things. Businesses can't change things unless they know what's going on, right? And it's not just a whinge or a vent, it's constructive feedback. Give feedback whenever you have the opportunity. And I always say give praise when praise is due. The amount of times I go through like a drive-through or I get service somewhere, I always ask to talk to the manager, or I go online and I write a review. I always ask for the person's name that served me and I write something nice because, people always go out of their way to leave negative shit and negative feedback, but no one takes the time to be like, I had a great experience today. This person deserves some fucking validation and praise, right? You made that person's day, just saying. But more importantly, receiving feedback. Ask for it all the time. Ask for feedback. Show initiative. Say, I want to improve. How can I improve? Can you give me feedback on the last thing I submitted or the last conversation we had? Whatever the hell it is, whatever situation you're in. You can't improve unless you know where you can improve. Ask for feedback. Lesson number 25. Travel when you can. Often. I was very scared and anxious to travel because I just like my bubble. I've seen too many crime documentaries to travel, but luckily my ex-partner was a travel bug and got me out of Australia. And I tell you, yes, it's scary. Yes, it's anxious, but fuck, as long as you're safe, do it with people you trust, then the experience, the life experience and the memories and history that you gain from travel, you can't get anywhere else. Like there's nothing more surreal than seeing history right in front of you, right? And learning about different cultures and the way that other places in the world operate and how they communicate, and just it's crazy, their mannerisms. Like I can go on for days about travel, but I tell you, travel when we're not in a pandemic, but travel. Like the relationships I now have with people because I traveled. You guys know I'm a huge music festival person, right? Like huge. The fact that I've been to one of the biggest music festivals in the world, Tomorrowland. I've also been to Electric Daisy Carnival in Las Vegas, and the fact that I now have a group chat called Rave Fam, because I met them at Tomorrowland in Dreamville and we went to Vegas together and went to EDC together as a Rave Fam. Like you would not have that experience, those connections and those memories without travel. Just saying. Lesson number 26. We take this planet for granted. We literally live on it. It is our home. We treat it like absolute shit. If the planet was a person, how heartbreaking is that? Like, it's like we're bullying this person. We throw rubbish at it. It's just the poor planet. It makes me sad. I'm just picturing like a little cartoon world with his hand out, like, help me. And it's not funny, okay? It's not funny. It's fucking shit. It's dying. We're not going to make it. Our future generations, our future kids, the animals. Don't get me started on animals. Like, we're fucking it up, guys. We need to do something to save it and to look after it. We need to do our part. There needs to be more education. I think we're heading in the right direction with plastic and recycling and, clean energy. Greta, let's listen to her. She's a clued on little kid. She's going in the right direction. Even if you don't give a fuck and you don't want to listen about that kind of stuff, just do your part, man. Like, do your part. So many things you can do. Huge lesson is, how can I do my part? And again, no judgment. Everybody can do something different. I don't eat animals. I don't have plastic. I have less showers. Only shower once a day. Saving water. Saving water. I don't eat things with palm oil in them because they destroy rainforests where the orangutans and shit live, right? You see where I'm going? Everybody does their part. You can just stop using plastic. That's your part. Stop doing things that put chemicals into the air. That's your part. Just pick a part. There's a million things that are destroying the planet. Choose one that suits you, that fits you well, and just stop doing it. Or research, do your part, educate yourself, and just pick one. You don't have to do all of it. You don't have to change your complete lifestyle. Don't give up things you love. Just pick one thing that sits right in your heart and do it, please, for the fucking animals and for the planet. Lesson 27. I wrote this down. How funny. Tomorrowland is the happiest place on earth. And yes, I've been to Disneyland. Disneyland is also a very happy place on the planet, but sorry. Tomorrowland has my heart. I went there in 2018. It's now 2021, and I wish I was there every single day. I talk about anchors quite a lot on my channel, and it is definitely a positive anchor for me. Every time I hear a song that was played at Tomorrowland, every time I watch a video, I see photos, I get chills, and I actually cry. Like, if you watch any of the Tomorrowland series, like my playlist on YouTube, like me getting a ticket, me watching videos from it, the countdown, my Tomorrowland video, like I actually cry all the time. The connection with people at Tomorrowland, I've never ever experienced something like it before. It's almost like it's its own little world, right? Like as soon as you walk through the gates, or as soon as you enter Tomorrowland land, like even the Dreamville, there is so much love, no judgment, no hate. It's almost like everybody puts everything at the door and it's just like, fuck, I'm at Tomorrowland. Like it's about acceptance, it's about love, it's about connection, and seeing flags from all around the world, even small countries, coming together, like high-fiving each other. Where are you from? Like that's the opening connection sentence to everybody at Tomorrowland. Where are you from? Like what flag is that? It's just so beautiful. And when I tell you the stages, like the actual map and layout of Tomorrowland will blow your fucking mind. Like I have seen every single Tomorrowland after movie. I've been wanting to go since I was 16 and I was 20 and now 28. It's been my dream, and I went, and the feeling you get walking up that hill and standing on the top and looking at the main stage is like, fuck, I could die in this moment, but I don't want to because I'm at Tomorrowland. Do you know what I mean? If anyone's been to Tomorrowland, please give me a shout out, because let's cry together. I'm going to do a whole episode on Tomorrowland, honestly. It's like, if I could just live in Tomorrowland. Anyway, off track. Lesson 28. I am confident with who I am. I'm very fucking proud of myself. The shit I've been through, the challenges, people I've met, people I've lost, your confidence as a young teenage girl, the bullying, and then discovering yourself and falling in love with yourself as an adult and giving back to people for the same things that you struggled for has been an incredible experience. And self-love and being confident is a daily thing that you work at. Some days are off. Some days are like, I'm just a boss-ass bitch, you know? I'm a goddess. No wonder I'm not single. Just kidding. Learn to make jokes about yourself. Lesson 29. Take the piss out of life. Don't take everything so seriously, okay? But I am super, super proud of myself, super happy with where I am. I'm super ambitious. I've got things I'm working on that I want to achieve and I will achieve, and definitely couldn't have done it without the people I have in my life, friends, family, mentors. But yeah, just want to say happy birthday to me. Thank you guys for listening. If you want to follow me, ask me any questions, or just connect, you can find me on my social media platforms. So my Facebook group for this podcast is called The JD Remedy. Let's talk about it. Find me on Facebook. It's just Jade Delpup, JaydeDelpup. Same as my Instagram and my YouTube channel. I love you guys so much. I will see you next week. Bye.